What does Superman, Wonder Woman, and a peacock have in common? Stay tuned. We're going to get into this. There's something called power postures that we're going to learn about, and we're going to learn about some tips, strategies, and techniques to help get some energy during the day and how to end the day with a bang. Coming up. Hi, I'm Fernando Sosa, and you're watching Mindset Steel Live Show. In this show, we encourage you to crush your limiting beliefs, punch fear in the face, and take massive action in your business and your personal life by focusing on the 80% psychology and 20% strategies. This is episode number 7, and I'm fired up. Tonight, we have a very special guest, and we're going to talk all about how to boost your energy and mood during the end of the day and in between the day. And so there's one thing I'm going to get right into it. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, welcome. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and click on subscribe right now and click on the like button so you don't miss the future episodes. So one thing that I have been doing for the past about 4 or 5 months is, and I shared it in my previous episode, is that I have a morning routine, which I call my hour of power. And that morning routine sets me off for the day. I do a little bit of yoga, I do some stretches, some meditation. I do a lot of things in the morning, and you can watch that on a previous episode. But what I've discovered is that sets me off on a good note to start the day. But during the course of the day, my energy level can go up and down. So I realized that we also could use some strategies, some routines that can help us keep the momentum during the day. So we're going to go over a couple of strategies that we're going to share. I'm going to share with you some strategies, some tips that I'm using. And I'm going to go ahead and jump over here and share with you my first strategy, that I use, which is called my 5 o'clock whistle. And I call it my 5 o'clock whistle because it's the one that I use at the end of my workday. And 5 o'clock, I think it's a thing. I don't know if it's the same in the US. I know it's a thing. At the end of the day, you're 5 o'clock. It kind of reminds me of the Flintstones. If you ever watched the Flintstones, the opening credits when Fred Flintstone is end of work, the big horn, or it's like a dinosaur horn sounds. Anyway, 5 o'clock whistle. So my 5 o'clock whistle I do at the end of the day. Let me just go ahead and share that with you, and we'll talk about it. So it's basically me having a dance party. This is my 5 o'clock whistle. So as you can see, that's me having a dance party with my kids at the end of the day. And they have fun, I have fun. It's one way that at the end of the day, after working hard, dealing with life and work and all of the stresses that go with that, just to stretch, get off your seat and just shake your body and get re-energized. Just take care of your physiology by just moving. And the other strategy, the other routine I'm going to share with you next is very similar. But basically, it has to do with that, just moving, and that just keeps your blood flowing, and it just pumps you up. And it's a great way to end the day. You celebrate your day, basically. You celebrate your day. So it's really like a mind and body kind of experience just to do that. So I highly suggest to try that or something similar. It could be dancing. It could be, maybe a quick workout. But do something at the end of the day. So that's what I call my 5 o'clock whistle. The next one that I wanted to share with you that is also very helpful to me is what's called power postures. Now, power postures, okay, also has to do with mind and body. Just think about it. Superman, you see Superman there and Wonder Woman, their famous posture, right? If you go ahead and try that for yourself, try it for 2 minutes. Just stand tall, chest up, your shoulders, your hair, your hands on your waist. Look up and do it for 2 minutes. There's a feeling that you're gonna feel. You cannot feel depressed or tired by doing this. It's an experience that you have to try. Normally, it happens just naturally. Like when you're excited, you see the postures of the athletes. When you win, you raise your hands, and it comes naturally. Now, what happens is, some posture like that, you can have different postures. But what happens is that when you are feeling happy and excited, you react in a certain way, and that happens naturally. But you can actually do it on the flip side. You can actually do the same actions that you do when you're feeling happy, and those actions, those movements, actually create some feelings. So having doing a power posture when, let's say, before you're entering a meeting or an interview or something important that you're gonna, a presentation or something, you can do this power posture. Obviously, don't do it in front of somebody because they're gonna think you're silly and crazy. But if you do that just by yourself, you develop this feeling that re-energizes you. It motivates you. You should try it. Just try it. I've tried this, and it's worked. And there's actually been studies about this that actually demonstrates and proves what we're talking about here. So power posture. So what does, at the beginning I said, what does Superman, Wonder Woman, and a peacock have in common? Well, power postures actually work in the animal kingdom as well. The peacocks open up their feathers, like just to show dominance and just to show off their feathers. It's the same principle. They kind of do it the same way. So anyway, that's what they have in common. So the other thing that I wanted to share as a strategy or routine is smile. Very simple, doesn't cost anything. The simple fact of smiling releases endorphins in the brain, and it makes you feel better. Try it. 2 minutes, set aside a time, smile. If you have to force it or bite on a pencil, just smile. You cannot be angry and smile at the same time. That creates a feeling. It re-energizes you. It boosts your mood. So smiling, it could be a fake smile. It doesn't matter. Just the physical action of smiling, like I said, releases those endorphins and it makes you feel better. So those are the 3 things that I wanted to share with you that has helped me boost my mood and my energy during the day. Because at the morning I have this routine, but then during the mid-morning, during my lunch break, late afternoon, end of the day, I have these different things, kind of like a shot in the arm kind of thing that helps me. So the postures is very good. Another posture that I didn't show there is a power posture is, imagine yourself walking out in an elevator. The door opens and you walk out. You open your arms and say, I'm here, like in your mind, but you can do that. Very silly, but it actually works. It gives you this feeling of empowerment, of empowerment. So those are my tips. So what I like to do now is welcome my special guest, Nadia Murdock. Is a nationally recognized fitness coach, author, mindset expert, and has some regular on-air appearances on television like E! News, Fox, Today.com. And before I welcome her, I want to show you a quick clip that I put together from some past footage that I saw. Take a look, and we'll talk to Nadia next.
Is here. She's with Nadia Murdock Fit. You yourself, you have a psychology background, but you also are helping people work through this season. And why do you think it's so stressful when it does impact your physical health?
It totally does. People tend to internalize a lot of their stress, and they tend to deal with it in not so healthy ways, such as eating or maybe drinking a little too much glasses of wine. So here I am to tell you how to deal with it in a healthy way. You have to have realistic expectations. I think sometimes people idolize other people, and you might have a way to go, and people aren't patient with themselves also. So you have to make sure you pace yourself, have realistic goals, Maybe this summer you won't have the look you're looking for, but next summer, and always set yourself at a reasonable pace, because you don't want to ever do anything rushed, because you want it to last.
Our fitness coach and lifestyle enthusiast, Nadia Murdock, not only is she the author of You Can Have It All, but she is also has a mind and body makeover program.
Expert and coach Nadia Murdock is showing rich kids of Beverly Hills stars Morgan and Roxy how to whip up the easy facial concoction.
Break out of sensitive skin, and very sensitive.
Well, if you have more sensitive skin, you probably want to find a more refined sugar.
And here to teach us about coffee-based beauty products is health fitness expert Nadia Murdock.
You're also a fitness guru, so tell us really, because we hear all sorts of mixed things about how much coffee we should be drinking and how much we shouldn't be drinking.
That's right.
On average, how much coffee do you recommend that we consume
I would
in a
say,
day?
I would say, keep your caffeine intake to the earlier portion of the day.
Okay.
A lot of people like to get some caffeine boost at like 3 o'clock when they're feeling sluggish. But I would suggest,
And here I was thinking chicken wings wouldn't be a bad thing to order. But
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, but there's ways to make it over.
Okay.
That's
how?
good to know. So you can bake it or grill it, and then try adding more seasoning to make it really flavorful. And then just swap out some of the dipping sauces with low-fat ranch, or perhaps a yogurt-based dipping sauce.
Now I got to ask you, how are you all part of this?
Well, the idea with the workout is to make it fun and to avoid boredom. So one way is with football season, pump up the season spirit by adding some workouts. A couple of my clients like to do it during commercial break, as you had mentioned earlier. So why not just make it fun and worthwhile at the same time?
Wow. Very happy that Nadia is here. And let's welcome in Nadia. Nadia,
Hi.
welcome.
I haven't watched that in a long time. It was nice to look at it.
That was awesome. I know that doesn't do justice because of it's older footage there, but I'm just so happy to be here. So Nadia, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Something, I know that's an old footage there, or a lot of clips, but share with us a little bit more, something that you want to share about yourself, and then we'll get into whatever tips you want to share with us.
Yeah, sure. So recently I have been focusing more. I pivoted my company to focus more on mindset and movement. Movement has always been an element as part of my company, but I've always sprinkled in mindset, but never had it be the driving force. And so I felt like it's so funny because I pivoted just before the pandemic, and it just aligned perfectly. And so focusing on mindset has always been important for me. It's what changed my whole entire perspective and wellness journey. And I feel that you completely can't achieve anything unless your mind is just as healthy as your overall health goes for your physical body. So I'm a mindset and movement expert. I teach bar and mat Pilates, and I find ways to weave in mindful concepts into my fitness training and classes.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. And so the people that you help, are you going on site or online, or how do you help people?
Yeah, so previously I was doing it virtually, but not so much. I was more in person. Now that online virtual training is the way to go, with a lot of the gyms only open to limited capacity, some gyms not open at all, I really find a really good niche there. So that's where I host a lot of my fitness coaching. It's a mindset program, so it's 30 minutes mindset coaching, and then 30 minutes of physical activity, and then the client really gets to see how they weave in together and how they become one. And then I teach 2 classes twice a week, and those are also taught via Zoom.
Awesome. And so let me say, I just saw some comments here. I just wanted to say hello. Sonia, hi. Sonia, thanks for being here. Jennifer, thank you for being here. If you're watching, go ahead and put your comments below. We will like to see the engagement. Or if you're watching on the replay, also comment, and we'll follow up as well. Thank you for being here live or on the replay. So Nadia, so you saw what I shared in terms of my strategies, and that's I learned a couple of these things from some things that I've been doing in the past, some things I learned from other people, Tony Robbins. I learned a couple of things from there. So what
Was it the power pose you learned from Tony?
Yeah, that
I
was
swear.
one thing I saw that there. I think I saw it before on some other lady on YouTube, not YouTube, a TED Talk that I saw.
Yeah.
She actually, I think her name is Ann something. She talked about it, a study that was done about that.
Yeah.
And it works. I mean,
It does work.
It does, right?
It does work.
So what else can you share that would help somebody get out of if they're stuck in a rut during the middle of the day, that they can just get up and do something?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely in the middle of the day, my biggest tip, especially if you can't break away from your workday, if you have kids that are home and it's kind of tough, or if you have kids that are at school and you have a limited block of time to get work done, try to divvy up the work inside and outside the house, especially now if you're on the East Coast. Let's absorb this time where the weather is still bearable outside. And maybe if you have a call or a webinar or anything like that, you can take that outside. I like to call them walking meetings. So I think that's a great way because the vitamin D from the sun will give you that energy boost you need. Also, the oxygen is great. Mask on, obviously, but it's still a good pick me up. And I find that even if it's 10 minutes, my whole entire mood changes. If your posture, you realize you do, I like to call a check-in with your body, right? So if you're at the desk all day, like you don't even realize that your shoulders are rounding, your posture is poor, your eyes are on the screen all day. And then just that small breakaway, roll your shoulders back, go for a walk, take that call outside. If you don't even need to take a call, don't do that. And sometimes there's also walking meditations, right? Like you can, and they're literally listed as that in Audible and other things like that, where you can just flip it on, go outside, have a smooth, like it just helps to reset your whole perspective for the rest of the day. That's what I love to do in the middle of the day. And then, okay, so I think I answered your question.
Yeah, no, that's good. I can see definitely how that would work. Now let me ask you a question. For people that are juggling with kids, like especially nowadays with the quarantine and homeschooling and how would you suggest somebody does take a little bit of time for themselves and do some of these things that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Have you tried like going out could be hard for somebody that is working and has kids that doing online,
definitely,
especially if they're smaller kids?
Oh my gosh, yes. We kind of talked about that a little bit in the middle of the quarantine. I love what you're doing. Involving the kids is awesome because it's everybody gets a reset, everybody gets a reboot. But if you need that one little bit of me time, even just deep breathing, like a quick inhale and exhale is and that's just a minute. That's less than a minute. It can really help, especially if you don't have someone at home to help, especially if you have multiple children. The idea is finding what works for you and not just shrugging it off and getting another cup of coffee or, drinking too much in the evening. Like really find healthy ways to cope and then reward yourself later with that special treat or a glass of wine. Your coping mechanism should be beneficial. And I always try to push that. I also try to push no deprivation either. I don't think if you enjoy wine, you should not drink wine. But it's also about moderation. And because you're always going to have to cope with this, right? This is our new reality. And so finding healthy ways to do that is not only good for you, but it's setting an example for everyone around you too.
Right. What about nutrition, like eating? How does that fit into the whole picture?
So I'm not a licensed nutritionist. I'm a fitness coach, but I do have great tips for that. Hydrating is so important. So as I talked about drinking coffee, drinking coffee is just so easy to do to try to stay awake, especially if you have really young ones and you've been kept up at night and now you just keep drinking coffee. Before you know it, lunchtime has passed and you haven't even eaten. So that's really detrimental to your health because what ends up happening is that when you do eat, you'll overeat and the calories aren't distributed proportionally throughout the day, et cetera, et cetera. So just make sure that you're hydrating. Water really helps with brain fog too. You may find that you're getting a headache or you can't concentrate. And a lot of the times that's linked to dehydration. So that's my number one nutrition tip. Make sure you start your day with water even before your coffee. If it's warm water, that's even better. That can help jumpstart your digestive system for the day. And then just try to keep healthy things on hand. If you have a home office, which I think I noticed you had in the beginning of that video, having handy snacks in the drawer or visibly, whether it's a piece of fruit or whatever, it's a kind reminder that that's what you should be eating and not, running to the drive-through and getting, something quick and maybe not so healthy.
Right. And so I followed you on Instagram, and I see you're always posting a lot of content there. I'll put your Instagram here. You do. Can you tell me a little bit about Bar? Is it Bar? Yeah, Bar. Yeah. And I see like a lot of things happening with Bar and all the activities. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So Bar is really something that I found when I became pregnant with my first son. I got certified and didn't even know I was pregnant. And then once I was certified, I was like, I can't teach for another year. And then I was like, that's ridiculous. So I actually started teaching Bar when I was about 6 months pregnant with my first son, Max. And it's a compilation of ballet movement, Pilates, yoga, and it's a mindful type style of exercise. So a lot of the functionalities behind the exercise is not only functional fitness. Basically, it helps you do things that you do daily, such as pick up your kids, pick up your groceries and stuff like that. But it also helps to connect the mind and body. And so I think that just furthered and concrete solidified my journey in terms of pushing the message of mind and body alignment. And so that's what Bar is. So there's all different types of elements of Bar. Depending on your background, you teach it differently. If you're a ballerina, you may have more of a dance technique. But me, I have more of a strength and cardio background as a fitness instructor. So I really try to weave that into my classes.
I see. And so let me ask you, is there a particular exercise that we can do sitting down that could help us? What would you suggest?
For sure. It depends on what you're trying to focus on. If you're trying to just relax, just a couple shoulder rolls back will help to correct that posture. Yeah. And so you don't want to make the movement small. You want to really exaggerate it and articulate the shoulders back. Yeah. And you'll start to feel the tension because a lot of us hold our tension in our shoulders.
Yep.
So that's great. And then you'll reverse it and bring it forward. Oh, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also you could take your opposite hand to the opposite side and then just gently
I do this
down. This is so good because like you're in the front of the computer all day.
Yep.
And those are good things to do throughout the day and then it becomes a habit. Also, like even if you wanted to just take your water bottle and kind of do some bicep curls, and I used to do that like before I was doing light walking after having my second son. And I was just like, hey, I could. And then I started getting creative with it and, doing arm rotations and things like that. I think the most important thing though, is to get up out of your seat if you can. And that's even just like walking up and down the stairs in your house. Like, again, if you're at home with the kids, it's hard. I love how you incorporate dance with the kids because you're setting an example to them to move, get off the tablets and get some exercise going. So if you can get up, that's great. A standing desk is even better. Those are great because you can do squats in between while on your call, while typing up an email. There's just so much that we're not really conditioned to think about. But once you start exposing yourself, like how you said you were watching TED Talk, and when you start exposing yourself to another element, a lot of different things will come to you and you'll be like, oh, I could do that. Yeah.
All right. That's cool. So Nadia, do you have like classes, courses, or like how else can somebody get in touch with you? I have your website and your Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
Reach out and you have they can follow up with you.
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram at Nadia Murdock. Fernando kindly displayed that for me. And also my website, I teach classes 2 times a week, a 30-minute class, which is great for people with a time crunch on Tuesday evenings, 6:30 p.m., and a 45-minute class on Thursday evenings at 6:30 p.m. It's a virtual mindset bar class. So we put in the work and we end each class with a mindful meditation. And then also I have a program called the Ultimate Jumpstart, which is great if you can't make either of my classes. It embodies all of what I teach regularly and also includes a lot of journal prompts. So you'll get some meditations, pre-recorded meditations, exercises, journal prompts, and stuff like that to keep your mind and body aligned.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Nadia, for sharing your knowledge and the gold nuggets. I appreciate that. Every little bit is helpful, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be here and sharing with the audience. Guys, everybody, if you're watching this, follow Nadia. She has a lot of content there. And as you can see, she's been around the block. Okay.
In a
good way. Thank you very much again, Nadia. Any final words?
I think with the times that we're in, whatever you're facing, just remember that there's always a better outcome coming your way. Just try to focus on the positive. I think it's easy for us as people just to focus on the negative, and focusing on the positive can really help change your perspective now, tomorrow, and the future. So
awesome. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. That was a great ending.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Nadia, as I said, the contact information is there. Check out if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and click on the like. If you want some extra bonus content, go to mindsetofsteel.com, and we have some additional content during the week off schedule that we put out, and you also get notified when special guests come out, and we'll just keep in touch like that. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate you. Until the next week, next episode of Mindset of Steel. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.